Another U.S. journalist was beheaded by ISIS in the Middle East. His name is Steven Sotloff, and naturally this has stoked passion and fear and anger in the U.S. and the rest of the modern world. But Fox News saw this as an opportunity to direct their anger at Obama because of the language that he used in his press conference.
Uncertain in terms of terminology there, but why isn't it clear? I mean, we have a number of troops been assigned to hold down and secure our forces there in Baghdad. We have airstrikes occurring right now. We've got confusing language when it seems like war. We have 2 American journalists beheaded. I'm not sure what more cause for war we need. And Ed Henry just mentioned a softening of terms, as it seems. And by the end of that speech that the president just gave in Estonia, answering questions as it regards to war, in terms of strategy, he said, referring to the beheadings, he referred to them as crimes against these fine young men. Wow. Civilized terminology. Right. For something so barbaric. Why is he so afraid to call a spade a spade?
Well, he also says he blames social media for a lot of the uproar that's going on right now, that the world is always in turmoil, especially in the Middle East. Charles Krauthammer thinks he understands why the president is so reluctant to call things as they are.
It's a global war, and Obama persists in calling them extremists, as if they are extremists. For what reason? They're just very upset about a lot of stuff. He will not call it by its name, Islamic radicalism. He will not explain or concede that it's a worldwide movement. And he will not concede that what he's done for these 5 years, underestimating, underplaying, and not explaining to the American people the necessity of carrying it on, has now beginning to bear fruit everywhere in the world as America's position is collapsing.
Quote, this is what Obama said: "We will not be intimidated. Their horrific acts only unite us as a country and stiffen our resolve to take the fight against these terrorists." So the point that Krauthammer made, this president, he refuses to call them what they are. He refuses to say that they're terrorists. I'm always stunned by the extreme level of stupidity that appears to be obligatory in any conservative argument against Obama, where they just have to make shit up. No, he's never used the word terrorist to describe ISIS, or actually he's never used it to describe al-qaeda, and he actually likes having tea and crumpets with jihadists on the weekend. He's a big fan of the Muslim Brotherhood too, and yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, then you're a moron. I mean, do you seriously believe? And what's the implication when they say that? Oh, he hasn't called them terrorists. The implication is, at best, weak pussy Democrat, they can't do foreign policy right because they're softy liberals who think we can all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and the world is made with puppies and rainbows and happiness. That's the best possible interpretation of what they're saying, the best possible implication. Or it's worse and it's more nefarious. It's the idea that, you know how he is. He secretly kind of likes Muslim radicals and fundamentalists. But either way, it's just pathetically stupid arguments. Look, I said it once, I'll say it again. It's not like there's nothing to disagree with Obama about. It's not like there are certain policies that he's advocated or certain things that they've done that are bad. Okay, you can find plenty of stuff where you go, that's fucked up, I would have done this policy differently, I would have done that one differently. But they're so stupid on Fox News, they can't even do that. It's just the broad, the words he used, I didn't like them exactly, they weren't exactly right, and then I'll still lie about the words he used because he actually said the things I wanted him to say. So, I'm not done with Obama's statement yet either. He continued, quote, "And those who make the mistake of harming Americans will learn that we will not forget and that our reach is long and that justice will be served. We will degrade and destroy," his words, quote, "degrade and destroy the enemy," being ISIS. Tell me again how he's weak and how, he's using civilized language to deal with barbarians. What the fuck do you want him to do? That seems like pretty good language to me, right? But what do they want him to do? What do they want him to come out with, a fucking Glock or something, hold it sideways at the camera? He's like, hey, you know what, bitch? I'm coming to get you, motherfuckers. How you like that shit? What do you want him to pour a drink out for his homies? And then watch, the second Obama were to ever do something that could be even slightly perceived or misperceived as hood, then what would happen? They'd be like, oh, this thug president, why isn't he more civilized? So he can't win. If he acts civilized, you go, talk tougher against ISIS. If he doesn't do that, then you're like, oh, calm down, Blackie McBlackington. We need you to be more civilized and be more like a white, stereotypical white president. Now, putting aside everything I just said, take all that stuff, wrap it up nice and tight, throw it out of your fucking mind, okay? Because here's the bottom line. We are already bombing ISIS, and Obama just sent more than 350 troops to Iraq on top of the 400 plus that we had before. Remember, he sent in Green Berets, and he had a few more before that he sent in. Now he's sending in 350. So what more do you want him to do? He's bombing and he sent ground troops. And look, I don't even like that entire plan. I wouldn't have sent ground troops, okay? I'm fine with doing a bombing. I would have done the bombing not with planes but with drones, and I would have done it through NATO and the UN, and I would have gotten congressional approval, okay? Because I actually believe in the legal process more. But he's doing more what you want him to do. You're like, why doesn't he bomb them? He is bombing them. Why doesn't he put boots on the ground? He does put boots on the ground. Why doesn't he do... He's doing what I like. He's doing my policy that I advocated for.